What's going on, everybody? I'm Alexander Williamson, and you are watching FISHTORY. So today we are counting down the top 10 most popular fish in the American fish trade. So these are the fish that are sold most frequently in the United States. Out of all the fish there are in our hobby, thousands of them, these are the 10 that they sell the most of. Not that make the most money necessarily, but they sell the most individual fish of these 10 species. And while they are great fish, and a lot of people really love these ones, and there's some favorites on there, for all 10, I'm going to give a couple alternatives that I think may be better suited for a community aquarium, or maybe just something interesting that you haven't tried before. So let's count them down right now, starting at number 10 and working our way to number 1 being the most popular and most commonly sold fish in the aquarium hobby. And starting at number 10, we have the Oscar cichlid. And this is my buddy Ken over at Danikin Aquatics hand. He's over 6 foot, basketball player kind of dude. And these fish are over a foot long, yet in the store they may only be an inch long. And they're really beautiful, and yes, they are smart. They raise their babies and take care of their young, but they can swim with arowanas. Look at that. Also on the list tied was the convict cichlid and the hybridized versions of it, like these Arctic convict cichlids as well, or polar cichlids. Something that I think more people would have success with is the cribensis, aka the crib. Now these come in lots of different varieties. You can see here the difference in color. This is a Lacunga crib. Really pretty, really nice at taking care of their young. Here you can see this is a female with fry. Totally different color pattern. And it just depends on where they're from, where their color pattern is. If you don't like that speed, try a Latiacara curvicet. These are another one that takes care of their young and is a very peaceful fish comparatively. Coming in at number 9, the 9th most sold fish in America is the corydroas. Now, this is kind of an odd listing because there are over 800 known corydroas species and types. They come in every color you can imagine. They're an awesome fish. They can live in a small aquarium. The biggest ones only get a couple inches, and they're a really social fish. The only downside is some people think that they're going to eat their algae. While they will clean up food scraps and things, a better alternative would be the otocinclus, this fish here. A lot of people are used to seeing them solo in a tank, just eating algae on the glass. But they actually come in a bunch of different colors, and if you keep them together, they're a pretty social fish. So that's why I want to recommend them as another peaceful and great alternative to corydroas, which are also still a great fish. Now, lastly, the reticulated hill stream loach, another gorgeous group of fish. And they come in all sorts of patterns and will also eat algae for you. Speaking of algae eating and fairly peaceful is the pleco. And most plecos people think of as cleaning the glass. Well, only a few species do so, and they get about a foot long for the most part. Here's some beautiful ones that are carnivorous mostly. There's others that eat wood. There's others that eat biofilm. Some get up to 3 feet long, and they can survive in cold temperatures, so they become an invasive very frequently because of negligent owners. Another interesting fish you could use that also will eat biofilm and algae and also hang out on the wood and look really interesting and have heads turning in the aquarium hobby, an alternative to the pleco, would be the farowalla. And there are actually many species of these weird twig-like fish, and they're completely peaceful and just a fascinating addition to any aquarium. Alright, coming in at number 7, the angelfish. A beautiful fish, one that is really fun to watch spawn in your aquariums. It's definitely understandable why these are on the list. Now, they're bred in mass now, and on farms in both Southeast Asia and Florida. The problem is a lot of them at big box stores and things, the inexpensive ones, tend to be pretty inbred, and also they can kind of be territorial, so they're not always the best fish if you're a beginning aquarist. However, if you prepare yourself, they are a fairly good fish regardless. Now, as alternatives, I can suggest the opistogrammas. They come in dozens of species. They're really beautiful. They pair off for life like angelfish do, and they take care of their babies, and the males and females are both brightly colored, interesting fish. Now, as another alternative, I would recommend the German or Bolivian rams. Also, they're another warm water, fairly peaceful cichlid. Alright, now coming in at number 6, we have the zebra danio. Now, this is the most studied vertebrate on Earth, tied with the mouse or lab rat. They're also common as the color or glow danios, and they're a very, very active fish, a very hardy fish, but sometimes they can be a little nippy. So, my alternative suggestion is any type of pencil fish, which come in these beautiful colors, lots of different patterns. Some of them hang out in the middle of the water, others will hang out low in the water column, and some will hang out at a funky angle right at the top, like this one. So they're a really cool fish, and you can find a lot of different species of them, and they're all completely peaceful with tiny mouths, so they work well with shrimp. Alright, coming in at number 5, we have platies and mollies. Now, they are different species from different genus, but they are live bears. It's just kind of odd they put them together on a list. But they do have a lot of different color forms that have been crossbred and things, and you can find all different colors and shapes, including wild ones like this one I found down in Florida. And, you know, if these aren't your speed, if you want something else that gives live birth and is colorful and active, try the goodeids. There's over 32 species known, and many of them are very endangered or even extinct in the wild, like this Omeka splendens. So keeping them may help preserve these species. Pretty cool. Coming in at number 4, the goldfish, one of the first domesticated fish, and these come in everything from fancy to feeder, and they are a really beautiful fish that a lot of people think are very easy, but actually they get pretty large, they can make a big mess, and they tend to dig in plants and also have some health issues from all the inbreeding because of how cute and derpy they look. A better alternative is the white cloud minnow, in my opinion. And there's actually a few different species of minnows from Asia that can also withstand cold like goldfish, and they can live in big communities, or you can keep just a few. They only get about 2 inches long, and they come in all sorts of colors, different fin lengths,
high quality flake
and
food, pellets,
just
and
different
live
styles. So I really like these. They can be in a nano tank, or you can keep a whole bunch of them in a big school, and they're pretty impressive. Coming in at number 3, a fish that most of us have loved and or owned, the guppy. There are so many colors of this live-bearing fish. It has so many babies, you won't know what to do with most of them. And now there are a lot of varieties. Almost any color you can imagine is out there, and they get along great in most community tanks with small fish. Now, as a recommendation, as an alternative, I'd say check out endlers. These are a little more subtly colored, and they are closely related to their wild cousins, which are actually extinct in the wild. So keeping the lines alive is a really cool legacy, and there's even hybrids of the two. All right, rounding it off with number 2, we have a two-way tie. The cardinal tetra and the blue neon tetra. Now, these are bred in mass, and because of that, you can see sometimes there is inbreeding and other defects that aren't caught. They're also caught from the wild in mass as well, especially the cardinal tetras, so I recommend you guys check out Project Piaba if you want sustainably caught fish. But beyond this, they are a great community fish. They only get about 1.5 inches long, and they're full of color and that reflective metallic shimmer from their iridophore cells. Now, if that's not your speed, rasboras are a genus or several genus of fish that I think you should check out. These are lamb chop or the SB rasboras. There are so many different rasboras, so many different colors out there. They're all community fish. Here are some of the teeny ones that can live with shrimp, the neon blue rasboras or sundadanios, which can actually come in green and red and yellow and all sorts of other colors. And if that's not your speed, you can also get some more sleek rasboras that are more compatible with quick moving water or living with bigger fish, angelfish and things like that. And if you like small, teeny tiny, well, there's exclamation points and chili rasboras out there for you. All right, as if it was not obvious, the number one fish in America is the betta. The betta splendens more specifically, and I put splendens in parentheses because all of these beautiful fish, there are so many different kinds and colors now. A lot of them have actually been crossed with wild bettas. There are over 93 recognized wild species of bettas now, and they all have slightly different traits in their fins and their coloring and size, shape, whether they're bubble nesters or mouth brooders or lay eggs out in the open. I mean, it's incredible how much they vary, but they all can breathe air, and they all can withstand a fairly hardy range of temperatures and habitats. However, because of all this amazing color, people have kind of selectively bred them, and in some cases their temperament and or health has suffered. So I would say, as an alternative, try out one of the 93 plus wild bettas out there. I have in one of my tanks right now some wild betta mahachiensis, which just happens to be one of the bettas crossed in the hobby to make the ones we think of as domestic bettas. I have an entire episode dedicated to the history of betta domestication. Check that out. And also, if you're wondering where to get these, check out the description. I've got reputable dealers that can hook you up with any of the fish on the list today. Oh my goodness, you guys made it all the way through the countdown. According to my analytics, that means that you are exceptional. You are the exception to the rule. Most people can't make it through a 30-second TikTok these days, and you guys stuck around, so I think you're the fish nerds that I need to be talking to. I hope you guys have a wonderful 2024, and I want to thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for all your support, love, curiosity, information, and all the cool things that I've learned from you guys and gotten to tell and teach you guys as I've learned myself in 2023. So thank you so much, members, subscribers, viewers, super chatters, and donators. You guys all make a huge difference, and I'm looking so forward to the next year with y'all in the community. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys next time in 2024.